This plastic kit modelling in the last few years has had a bit of a resurgence. There are many model companies out there that are trying to break free from the shackles of their older former selves. Revell Germany are one such company who are now trying to break free of the old thought that their kids were cheap and nasty, and are now trying to produce as best they can awesome kits at really affordable prices. Hello, welcome back to the Adrian Project. I'm Adrian with a face for radio, and on today's episode I'm going to be doing a plain talking review of Revell's 1/72 scale Avro Shackleton AEW.2. So, cue the music. Okay, so here we are, Revell's Avro Shackleton AEW.2 kit. As you can see, it's in their level 5 range. There are 193 parts. It's 37 centimeters long and a wingspan of 50 centimeters, I think, unless that's the other way around. I'm not too sure how they work those out. The kit model number for this is 04920. And you can see fantastic drawing of the aircraft on the front of the box. You get the same on the sides and the edges. On the back, we're getting some photos of the model made up. Then you get a guide of the paints to be used using Revell's own numbering system. So there we go. So without further ado, let's have a look at the box, which is a side opener, which I don't mind. I've said before in the past, nothing in there. So what we get is your instructions and your decal sheet, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4 bags with plastic grey parts in, and you get your bag of clear parts. So as always, we're going to go off camera, debag everything, so there's no waiting and messing about, and then we'll be starting off by having a look at the instructions and the decals. Okay, so here we go. That's just the safety advice thing that beginners read once and then you never read ever again. So let's have a look at the decals. And you get an absolutely marvellous set of decals on this. Absolutely fantastic. They're all in register. Can't see any problems with these. You've got decal there for your instrument panels as well. You've got decals here for the seat belts, safety belts. All the writing, even for me with my crap eyes, are in register. 2016 this kit was produced, so it's 4 years old. As you can see, like I say, they're all in register. Looking a bit dusty. I think this is from this protective sheet. Nothing that's going to be causing any trouble to the decals. It says on them printed in Italy, so it doesn't say what company have printed them. No, just says Revell GmbH, subsidiary of Hobbyco Inc. printed in Italy, so it's probably Revell's own printed decals. So excellent. Let's put them to one side. Okay, so at the time of release, 2016, this would have been the new version of the instructions, but now 4 years on, this is the usual one. So it's usual giveaway that if you get these kind of instructions with a kit, it's either a brand new tooling kit or they've reboxed the old one and you've got brand new decals and that kind of thing in. So there we go. So okay, we'll up the page. Usual bump on the first 2 pages with hints and tips, what all the icons mean. And onto these pages, we've got your paint call outs here. We've got that horrible way that Revell seem to hold on to, like a limpet, of mixing your own paints. Like I said before, I prefer to just get the pot, paint myself and paint direct like that without having all the mixing and mess and everything. Next page here, we've got a sprue map showing you that you get 2 of each of those sprue, which is going to make reviewing a lot easier. It's 2 less sprues to review. All your clear parts, a bit more sprues, and then on we go into the build. And as always, it's an aircraft, so we're starting with a cockpit. This is putting in all the seats, the control column, fitting all the tubs together, and then adding in some of the bulkheads, what have you, to the cockpit floor. This section here is showing you where to cut holes in. I don't know why they do that. If you're supposed to have them open, why don't you manufacture it with them open? It's not difficult. I mean, these holes here will be drilled out already for you, so, but that's just a little grievance of mine. So going on, as you can see, that's fitting more to the fuselage floor. Here we're drilling more holes out, adding clear pieces. How I do this, I mask off the clear pieces before I glued them in. Probably use Maskol, something like that, something that you're not going to be physically shoving in too hard to remove before gluing them in, because you'll glue those in if you put the fuselage halves together, and then when it comes to taking the mask off, you don't want to be pushing them in back inside, or it's in a world of hurt there. So anyway, onto this part, we're fitting some of the doors. This is fitting the control panel. So like I say, you get a decal for this. It's up to you whether you use the decal or whether you just paint it and dry brush it. Totally up to you how you want to do it. This is adding more clear parts to the fuselage sides. Section 14, the whole subsection for the cockpit is put into the nose part. This is fitting in the struts there. That's the aircraft Bombay doors floor, and you've got these pylons there for the wings to go on, which will strengthen it a hell of a lot, which is fantastic. At the back here, we've got the navigator and I think it's bombardier's positions. Whether you're going to see this inside, I'm not sure. There are plenty of clear parts, like I said, on the aircraft. Whether you're going to see those, you'd have to have the door open. So it's up to you how much detailing you want to spend on that. Part 17, we're gluing 2 fuselage halves together. A dry fit of that would probably help you to determine how much of the interior detail you are going to see. So you can use that as a guide. Okay. Part 18 is fitting the glass parts on. Then on to 19, we're getting the tail wings, vertical stabilizers, flaps, call them what you will. This is sorting all of those out. Fitting the tail wings, vertical stabilizers, sorry, to the aircraft. Then you've got the tail. You've got a couple of those vertical parts like you see on Lancasters, because this is a derivative, I think, of the Lancaster, if I'm right. No, shoot me if I'm wrong. That's what I understand it to be. And we're fitting, gluing together 2 flaps. Moving on, section 33, we're cutting something in half there, I don't know why. 33 and 34, some kind of glass parts. 35 is gluing the 2 wing arms together. If you don't get glue where your flaps go, they are operational, which is also always good if you can manage to do that. Usually, I don't know about you, but in my case, I'll get one to work and then the other will glue itself into place. But there you go. Section 37 is showing you how to glue the wing on to the fuselage. Now, if this is an excellent fit and you're not going to get a gap, that could be, excuse me, a bit of a runny nose because of it's the time of year for me. Hay fever sufferers unite. Yeah, as you can see, it's sliding on. You may be able to paint this separately from the fuselage, all depending on how the fit is. If you do a dry fit of that, and if it looks like there's going to be no gaps at all, then to make it hell of a lot easier for yourself, paint them separate. So just keep that in mind. Part 38, we're going on to the engine cowlings. Here you can have some in an open position. It's totally up to you how you're doing it. You've got the options there. This is fitting the parts for the undercarriage, I think, on the inboard engine cells there. This is putting the wheels together, tyres. I don't know if there's weight on wheels on that, but what is an annoyance is if it has got tread pattern on it, like it is indicating on the instructions, then you've got that seam line going all the way around, which you're going to have to get rid of, and then you're going to have to rescribe your tread pattern. I don't know, it's a bit of a nightmare, but there you go. These things have to be done, and this is all fitting it on to the undercarriage, wheel onto the undercarriage. Okay, part 44 is showing you where to fit the undercarriage onto the lower half of the aircraft, but with that I'd make that would be done after painting and weathering, because this looks like it's just going to be waiting to be knocked off, isn't it, when you're painting and weathering. Same goes with the undercarriage doors as well. I'd leave those off to the very last minute. 46 is doing the tail wheel. 47, you're adding some more clear parts on the back. 48 is an option whether you want this section there open or closed, which, like I say, is for your tail wheel, I think. More clear parts going on. 51, we're getting on to the Bombay doors, so it's up to you. If you're having everything showing, you'll have them open. If not, you'll have them in a closed position. I think 52 is showing you how to glue them on if you're having everything buttoned up. 53, we're starting to add, I think they're the air brakes, aren't they? We've got all these little greeblies added onto the wings. 54 is even more clear parts. A lot of glass on this kit. 55 is top turret part. I'm not sure if this is some kind of radar affair on there. 57 and 58 is fitting the navigation lights, which you leave till the very last thing to do. 59, we're doing the propellers. Through to 60, 61. Not sure what that is. It's telling you to heat up a screwdriver and melt that piece there, so I'm assuming that will allow the propeller to spin round, saving you the risk of getting glue on it, I should imagine. So, then it's the other propellers on top of that. There we go. Then you put in the cowling over the propellers and then fitting the propellers onto the engine. Okay, so then you're moving on to paint scheme. A lot of decals on here on this aircraft. If you don't like decaling, this is going to be absolute nightmare for you. But it's telling you where all your decal positionings are. It's also giving you the paint guide. Now you get the option to make one of two kits. In this one, you get the Shackleton from 8th Squadron Royal Air Force in Lossiemouth, Scotland in late 1973, or you have the option to make the same squadron in Lossiemouth from Scotland in June 1981. So pick up whatever option you want to go. I think really looking at these two, the only real difference is going to be in what decals you use. Yeah, I'd say myself, I'm not seeing too much of a major difference. So going backwards and forwards, sorry about making you dizzy. That's WL756 for the 1973 version, and that's WL795 for the 1981 version. So there we go. It's up to you which version you are going to make. So that's the instructions and the decals. So let's have a look at the parts. Okay, so we'll kick off looking at the parts. We'll look at the glass sections first, and for a Revell kit, I think they are excellent. Not too thick. There's plenty of leeway there for doing your own masking on the cockpit glass parts. There's some more of your glass parts there. So like I said, these go in before you glue the fuselage halves together, so you will definitely be wanting to mask these while you've got the two fuselage halves apart. That way you're going to make sure that it's going to cut down the risk of pushing them out of position and losing them on the inside of the airplane when you come to take the masking off. But they are really well rendered. I'm not seeing any distortion to write home about. It's 1/72 scale kit, so as we can see, they're okay. I do have, I'm not sure if that is a scratch. Yeah, I seem to have a scratch on my glass on there. I'm not going to worry about it too much. You may be a bit of a perfectionist and you'll want to polish that out or order yourself some more. I don't know, but the two came in the bag together, so there's obviously been some kind of rub there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, right, these two of the sprues that you get duplicates of, so you get two of each of these sprues. First one, as we can see, I've got the propellers on, and the cowlings and everything for the propellers. Yeah, they look all right to me. There's not over amount of detailing under the parts on this sprue. You've got one of the chairs there, with the pilots or the navigators, not too sure. On this one you've got one of the engine cowlings and you've got the wheel halves. So there we go. Let's have a look at these. There is tread detail on this. It is fine. So when you come to gluing these two together, you've got to take that middle seam out. So you are going to be doing some rescribing on that for your detailing on your wheels. There's some lovely panel work on there and rivet detail. Let's see if we can pick that up on my camera. Fantastic detailing on there, and you do have some detailing too on the inside. I think this must be the wheel wells for this one. Absolutely fantastic. There's some undercarriage parts here as well, some really fine work. If you can hear noise in the background, it's a little girl in a garden with a dog next door having a bit of fun. We can't begrudge anybody that these days, can we? So there we go. That's those two sprues. Moving on to the next two. Okay, so here we go, and as we can tell, as you can see, the nose of the aircraft comes separate I'm just assuming they've done it this way because there are going to be different versions in the pipeline that's going to have a different shaped nose. I don't know, not too sure, but that's what I'd assume. That's the detailing. That's on the Bombay floor, if you want to call it the Bombay floor. That's what we'd be showing if you've got the Bombay doors open. It's got some really nice detailing on that. It's going to take a wash lovely. Some pipe work as well in there. It's going to take a steady hand to paint those. Okay, and there's the flaps as well. Some lovely detailing on the flaps. Now mine there, well, they look like they're supposed to be a bit of a curve to them. I was just about to say they look like they were warped, but how they are situated on the sprue, I think there is supposed to be a bit of a curve there, so they aren't flat. So crisis averted there. Okay, so here we've got where the radar would be on the nose of the aircraft there. They're your Bombay doors. I'm assuming that those holes there are supposed to be there and don't need filling. We've got some really fine work on these parts here, really fiddly bits. They have got little sprue gates on, but we're going to have to be careful when removing those. That's not broke, is it? Bear with me a minute. No, I think it could be. I might have a broken part there. I think it is. Mine just there, I think is broken. So I may have to go in with a dab of super glue before I remove it from the sprue. I'm not sure what that part is, but it is broken. What a shame. Oh well, happens, but it's so easily fixed. It's a thin part. I'm sure that if I can't fix it, then I'll be able to fashion a new one out of a piece of sprue. Okay, there. Let's have a look at the last sprues as well. So let's have a look. Put them there a minute. So we've got fuselage halves here, as you can see. We've got some of the tail planes as well, vertical stabilizers, even vertical stabilizers. Some nice fine detailing on this. It's not too deep. I know a lot of modelers moan about how deep some of the recessed paneling is on some of these kits, but that's really fine. So fine thin coats when it comes to painting. Some great detail, riveting detail all over this kit as well. We do have ejector pin marks on the inside of the fuselage. I think when it comes to looking whether these need filling or sorting out is up to you when you come to make the model. All depends on what you're going to see and what you're not going to see. Now, if you're going to have that door open, then you are definitely, I should imagine, going to see those on that side, so you're going to have to fill them. Filling and sanding. But there we go. Okay, onto this next sprue. We've got, I think they're top halves of the wing, or the bottom half. Not sure. Well, the wing halves anyway. Okay, and then we've got the cockpit floor there. There's some nice detailing on that. There's your dials there. So like I say, there is a decal for that. Totally up to you whether you want to paint it or use the decals. That's for the nice cockpit tub detailing. They're the wing spars that you fit in. There's a little bit of detailing on that there, so I'm assuming that is the top half of the wing there, and that will be for the wheel well detailing. So as we can see on the last sprue, we've got the other two wing halves, so I'm assuming that they'll be the lower wing. Don't shoot me if I've got it wrong way around. I've got the engine cowlings there. And we have the air flap detail there, which has got some lovely detailing on it there actually. There's the air brakes. And we've got some really fine fiddly work there. Again, we've got plenty of detail on there. Some of the detail on that is absolutely fantastic. It's going to come up great with a wash. I'm not sure how well this is picking it up on my camera. My apologies if you're not seeing it. I'm doing my best. There we go. So there we go. And that is all the parts. So as I just sing to myself with this part, as I normally do. As I was trying to say, we're now going to go and have a closer look at a photo montage of all the parts so you can have a closer, better look. You know the routine by now. Let's just get on with it. So there you have it, Revell's 1/72nd scale Avro Shackleton AEW.2. I think this kit proves how far Revell have come on. They've come in leaps and bounds compared to a lot of the kits from the past. Not all the kits from the past were awful, but a lot of them were. There were build issues and the detailing on them wasn't great, but they've finally started to get up there with some of the better modelling companies. I think the detailing on this is fantastic. I have seen video builds from other modelers who have done this, and it does make into an awesome kit. As always, if you want to go down that route, I'm sure there are plenty of aftermarket companies out there that can put extra little bits of detailing on this, and you can remove parts. You may be able to find better detailed cockpits or the air brake flaps, whatever. It's up to you. As with any model, you go to town on it as much as you want. You can build it straight out of the box. It's going to look great, but you can take it to the next level, or depending on your skill level as a modeler. And you know what you can do will blow people's socks off. I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that finds a way to make the propellers work on it, and they'll have lighting and all sorts. But as always, this is the basis for whatever you want to do with it. I absolutely love this model. It's been in my stash now for a good couple of years, all because I want to get an airbrush, which hopefully, fingers crossed, it isn't going to be too long. A friend of mine's getting rid of one, so I might be able to start airbrushing now instead of doing really dodgy hand-painted jobs on my kits, and that's what I've been waiting for. This is why I haven't built this one yet. I want to go to town on it paint-wise. So you've seen the review, and with all that in mind, I'm going to give Revell's 1/72nd scale Avro Shackleton AEW.2 kit my full 5 Evil Ednas. And that's the end of yet another episode. I hope you all enjoyed that one. If you did, and you haven't done so already, could you please remember to subscribe to my channel. At the moment, I'm aiming to get 1,000 subscribers, and as soon as I hit that 1,000th subscriber mark, I will donate at least £20 to Macmillan nurses here in the UK. For those of you living outside of the UK and you don't know who the Macmillan nurses are, they are there to help everyone with cancer live life as fully as they can, providing physical, financial and emotional support. I myself have had their services firsthand, and I can tell you they are exceptional. A lot of the time they do have to rely on public donations, so if you'd like to find out more about Macmillan nurses, or in fact give a little donation yourself, then please visit www.macmillan.org.uk. Okay, I'd like to thank you all again for watching. It's very much appreciated. Don't forget, you can still follow me on Facebook and on Twitter if that's going to be easy for you. And here's to seeing you all again on the next episode of the Adrian Bow Project.